It's 2026, part 2 of our Moab adventure. We head back to Moab, hopefully with a better outcome than part 1. All along the way, we find Jackass Joe's. This is a unique store full of all kinds of tasty treats, unique adventures, and you go in this back room and there is the world's largest piece of beef jerky. We rolled into Moab under a beautiful sunset, set up our first night of camp. In the morning I realized my air mattress was not holding air, so this will be an adventurous 9 days for sleep. The next morning, we woke up to this beautiful scene. And then I noticed Jeremy. What in the world is he doing to my Jeep? Papa Smurf now has a tail. We have a lot of trails we're going to try to complete this week. We started early and easy with chicken corners, but watch out for that edge, it gets a little close. We're also going to do Billings Canyon, Rose Garden Hill, Moab Rim, Steelbender, The Pickle, D2700, The Lost World, Elephant Hill, and more. Stop talking for a moment. Sit back and enjoy the ride. We were lucky enough to have Rhett join us on this adventure. It added a whole new level of fun and humor. We had a great time. We saw a sign for the Wind Caves, so of course we had to go explore. The next day was Jeremy's birthday. The one wish he had was to see the Mesa Arch at sunrise. So we got up at 4:30 and did the hike so we could witness the sun come up over the mountains, and it was breathtaking. Jeremy wanted to be on top, which is a no-no, but with AI we made that possible. About an hour away was Elephant Hill. This is our first badge trail of the trip. And I said I'll take the lead as we started our climb. The first part of this section became really interesting because not only did you get to the top and to the edge, but you had to back up so you could go back the other direction. As the trail gets narrower and narrower, it's probably a good time to tell you I really don't like heights. Now if you look past my hood, that's the trail I have to go up. How the heck do I get there? You have to pull into this section, back up a couple different times, and turn around. And yes, that is the edge. There's 2 or 3 spots on this trail that capture your attention. One of them's the Devil's Pocket. We keep hearing about this trail and how narrow it gets, and I think we're getting closer. This is it. Devil's Pocket's just up ahead. Let's go. The trail does start to grow on either side of it. You can feel the walls start to build up as we get closer and closer to what they call Devil's Pocket. This is it. This is Devil's Pocket. It is tight. You can see me pull my mirror in. I added my roto packs on each side, and I wondered if I would clear.
So this is what happens when you run into the rock wall. That was brand new.
Jeremy jumps on the radio and says he has a problem. Broken shifter linkage on his transmission. We decided to cook a meal and think it through, when all of a sudden we discovered I broke my rear sway bar. So we need to get that out of the way so we don't do more damage. I quickly throw up my tent because winds and rain came in, so we hid out in my tent and discussed the situation. We got a hold of Maggie on satellite phone, and she got a hold of Trailmater, and then the next morning they came to help us out. We were able to hodgepodge the shifter linkage to get us up and out of the canyon.
Just got down off Elephant Hill. Trailmater came down and helped get Jeremy, which is over there. Broke some transmission linkage, and Trailmater got us down. Mike was outstanding to work with, great guy. So thanks for your help, and on to the next one.
After that ordeal, we went into town, decided to take a break. Rhett wanted to see the rock shop fossils, so we went into the fossil shop, and they had everything from real dinosaur bones to shark's teeth. It was quite the store. After playing around in town, it was time to get back to it. Once we played around in town, it was still 105 degrees, so we decided to do a little detour and do the trail fins and things. It's got some nice ups and some nice downs. We had a campsite a year ago right around the corner from there, and we wanted to show Rhett. So once we got done playing on the hills, we headed off to camp. After a good night's sleep, vehicles are fixed, it was time to take on the day. We did D2700, Lost World, and then we were going to go off and do the pickle. We saw a lot of wildlife on this trip, as well as an old windmill, and it was just nice to slow down a little and enjoy the scenery. Last year we pushed so hard, we might have missed some of these beautiful arches. Off in the distance there were the battleships. It's two rock formations that are famously known. It's important to take time, no matter where you are, and look around at all the beauty. We see these beautiful places and we like to wheel, but we make sure we take time to see the views. Coming down from the trail, we started to discuss dinosaur bones. There was a hike that we wanted to go see real dinosaur bones in nature. And on our way to the hike, we noticed a car, a young man from China who lived in California who had his hood up. We stopped to help and got him AAA. It was a little beyond us. Once to the dinosaur bones, it was fascinating to see them actually in the mountains. Once we got to camp and got the fire all set up, tent set up, it was time to cook dinner. The next morning it was time for the pickle. This is the new trail that has a pretty high level of difficulty. But Aaron was determined, and we gave it our best shot. With Aaron's 37-inch tires and his determination, he was bound to make it up that hill. Just before he did, we had the incident. Coming off a rock, Aaron sliced a gash in the side of his tire. We were in a lot of sand, so we decided to side patch it, get it out of there, and then put in a new tire. A gentleman showed up with a grinder and helped grind off the side tread so we could make the patch stick. Once we got the new tire on, we decided to play in some water, do another trail that had some water crossings, and then it was time to head back to Colorado for our last night of camp. Once in Colorado, we found this beautiful campsite. We toasted our last night together, watched the sunset, and started to talk about our next adventure. Thanks for watching. We do this so we can remember our trips and relive our moments.